Andrew Kunas here again for the Sean in the Dirt podcast, and as we did last year, having a chat with Kris Krug from MyRacePass and formerly of Knoxville Raceway. And Kris, another trip here to the Chili Bowl here. What are you thinking so far this year?
Great as always, man. Great crowd last night on Monday night. I think Kyle Larson Racing Monday night had something to do with that, but it was great racing as always. Was really pulling for Shane Golobic there to hold on, and mentally when you're 5 feet away from the checkered flag and yellow comes out, it's hard to rebound from that because the race in your head is over with. But it's a good race overall, and great time so far down here in Tulsa for sure.
And you mentioned Kyle Larson. Of course, Kyle Larson back. Full go here. He was a late arrival last year, but he was gone for a year or two. But you got Christopher Bell back. You got these other stars from other disciplines, Ricky Thornton Jr., Kyle Busch. Got a pair of IndyCar drivers, Ferrucci and Legg here. Just this race seems to continue growing every year.
Absolutely, and I think that the NASCAR owners, Joe Gibbs and Hendricks, they made the right decision to allow their guys to race other aspects of racing. You know, get those fans involved. It's great to see Kyle Busch here, the NASCAR ranks, playing in the dirt here in Tulsa, and maybe that leads to other, maybe a modified trip somewhere on a Saturday night. The NASCAR's off or something, and it's really exciting to see that. And this field's stacked. This is like a field you'd see from 5 or 6 years ago. Bell's back, as you mentioned, and Kyle Larson here, and then you have drivers who have made some changes in their their cars this year, with Justin Grant being one of them, no longer in the 2-car now. So that's going to be a bit of a getting used to, I guess. It's still NOS, but different number now. So field stacked, going to be a great week of racing for sure.
How many of these Chili Bowls you've been to now?
This is now my 7th, all 7 with MyRacePass. So been extremely fortunate to be here for all 7 years and to really be part of not only this event, but this company and what we're doing and growing with.
When I first met you a little over 2 years ago at Warp in Portland, Oregon, there you were the announcer at Knoxville Raceway. You've since left here. What have you been doing for racing since then?
Yeah, just been a spectator. I was not behind the mic for the first time in 10 years last year, so it had been a while. I stepped down as an announcer at Knoxville, and they we're thankful for my 10 years there. They asked me to come back, and I was like, it's just time. Living in Omaha, Nebraska, and then driving to Knoxville, Iowa every single Saturday kind of wears on you after a while there. And I love working with Tony Bachhoven and the entire staff there. But last year I was more of a fan. Went to opening night at Knoxville. Went to Nationals at Knoxville. And went to a few races around the Nebraska area, Eagle Raceway, in my backyard essentially. But more of a fan, and be able to travel a bit more this summer for sure.
A little freedom to go do different things, or you take the chance to do, as they call it, track chasing.
Not so much track chasing. I got the girlfriend and kids, and got to kind of be home on some weekends. But we do travel a bit more, and thankfully I converted her to a race fan. She had never been to a dirt track before me, so her first time at Knoxville Raceway, she fell in love with it. That was really cool, and now we watch Knoxville on Saturdays. But we do plan to go to a few tracks this year that I haven't been to, especially with the company. I'm hoping to go up to Eldora this year for the Dream, and then out to Pennsylvania at some point too.
And speaking of, you mentioned other announcers here. Blake Anderson is here, of course, and we picked you up at the airport on Saturday. Gave you a ride. We were talking about it here, but we got to bring up Iowa, Nebraska here. Have you two talked about it yet since you've been here?
Me and Blake are good friends. We talk. We text college football all the time. If breaking news happens, I'll text him, he'll text me, and so we become good friends in that aspect, and we always give each other crap too about Nebraska football. And he put it, I'm the most realistic Nebraska fan he knows, because I'll admit it's a miserable lifestyle to have what we once had and now what we have now. And I'm pretty straightforward with him about how I feel about our team most times, and it's words I can't say on air. But, we batter back and forth all the time. And he knows I hate Iowa football like he hates Nebraska football, but we're subtle about it because we're friends to each other. We don't take it out on each other for sure.
And you mentioned MyRacePass here. You've been with them for 7 years now, and a lot of people, they're becoming increasingly known here, but for a lot of people here, like, what is the MyRacePass, the app? Why are they involved in websites here? tell us more about what MyRacePass does.
Absolutely. So there's three different aspects to it. There's aspects as a driver, as a fan, as a promoter, and we'll start as a fan. As a fan, you have the MyRacePass app, right? So you have the lineups, the results, the entries. You have fantasy racing. You have driver insider stats, and you also now have audio. That you can listen to for racetracks that if they want to plug in their system to broadcast over the MyRacePass app, you can go ahead and listen to the audio now directly on the app. It's an incredible feature. On the driver side of things, websites, marketing packages to help you run your online marketing regime, and then also on top of that, promoters. We have websites, the race management program, and then we also have some online ticketing for events as well too. So there's so many things that we can utilize for that. And then as promoters and advertisers, we have a MRP digital ads portion of things where you can buy ad space on the MyRacePass network and place your ads on different websites. And our websites help promoters make money. We pay you to run a website through us. So there's so many different ways that MRP can really assist a promoter. And MyRacePass as a whole, as my boss Josh Holt says, as of last year has been touched. 95% of the racetracks in the country have been touched by MyRacePass. Whether it's a series going there, a driver has a website going there, a fan that's there, almost every racetrack in the country has been touched in some aspect by MyRacePass.
We were talking a little bit yesterday. I had a couple of relatives with me there, and not been around racing much, but I was telling them, like, we were saying 30, 40 years ago, you had to wait weeks, unless you called, for National Speed Sport or mark times up in Michigan or Racing Wheels out west. You had to wait weeks to find out what happened at a random racetrack, unless you paid the long distance, pay for the long distance call and called the track hotline here. It's just the technology these days that's at our fingertips. You're follow live timing on another racetrack, that's on the other side of the country, the results instantly there. It's just incredible, isn't it?
It's amazing. It's how fast it goes there. And then the cool part is when you see results on MyRacePass, MyRacePass.com, search for a racetrack, and you see results, they're official because it's the scoring staff putting that information in on race night to streamline their night. They're just doing their job, kind of putting results in, entries and all that. And that information goes up to MyRacePass.com. And so all that information you see, like the results on chilibowl.com, those are official because the scoring staff put them in there. So, yeah, it's at your fingertips. It's on the go, and you know it when you want to know it, and you can find it when you want to find it.
Yeah, of course, live timing is unofficial. You never know if someone's transponder comes off here, but you see the posted results, not the live time, but the posted results here, and it's great. You can look in. You want to know where your favorite driver is running, or where they finish, or where they're lining up later. You can see lineups for them even.
Yeah, official lineups in the app as well too. It's always a great tool there. And then of course, once the lineups are set, that's when it's time to make your fantasy picks. You get your fantasy racing in. And I know my team didn't do too well last night. I think I finished 185th last night, but there's 5 more days of racing to go. So hopefully things go well the rest of the week.
And it's only Tuesday here. We've all been here, a few days now, but we still got another 5 nights of racing, including all day Saturday there. For someone who hasn't been here to the Chili Bowl before listening, just describe just the whole atmosphere, everything that goes on during the week here.
The World Center of Racing. I know that's not, the slogan for this place, but, it really is. When you have drivers from NASCAR and drivers from the dirt tracks, from modifieds to sprint cars and midgets. It's a giant party. You come out and hang out and have a good time, and you watch some racing that happens to be going on at the same time as well too. What other racetrack do people come to the pits and put a lawn chair up and not even watch the race, but just watch a TV screen? So it's incredible to be part of it here, and to have the racing as good as it is every week, it's can't miss TV.
Of course, we're announcers here, but you got any picks for Saturday night there?
It's going to be hard to not see Chris Bell run 1-2, or Chris Bell and Kyle Larson run 1-2, but which order they in, we don't know yet. So I think it's the Bell Larson show on Saturday night, and everyone else is going to be battling for third.
All right. Well, thanks for talking with us here, and enjoy your time here in Tulsa.
You too, man. Thank you.
And that was Kris Krug from MyRacePass.